Welcome to a DK Custom Products video. My name's Kevin, this is Dwayne, and today I'm going to ask Dwayne what one of the biggest complaints he hears when talking with customers on the phone. So Dwayne, you're texting, emailing, and talking on the phone with customers all day.
Right.
And you hear a lot of stuff, but what is one of the regular big complaints that you hear when speaking with customers?
Well, generally people are, if they're calling about a particular item, they're generally upset that the bike doesn't come with that from the factory. A prime example, suspension. We make shocks. They have almost twice the amount of suspension travel. So the question is, well, why don't the factory just make their shocks with that much travel, or make their shocks that comfortable, or that plush, or that adjustable? And, Harley knows these bikes are not one size fits all. So they kind of, and we did a video where you interviewed Hoodie, who is a Harley dealership manager. So he pretty much knows the ins and outs of, the way these bikes are sold and marketed. And Harley intends on them being a blank canvas.
That's the reason that Harley Davidson is successful as they are, is they produce a motorcycle that appeals to the masses. And even in its stock form, it's a kind of a blank palette for people to have their own input on how they like it. Of course, oatmeal comes plain, but it also comes in flavors. Not everybody likes strawberry. Not everybody likes blueberry. The grips that I like might not be grips that you like because of hand size.
Because what you like, I would not like. We were joking around the other day about the tassels on the the brake and clutch lever. There's no world where that would ever be on my bike.
I'm gonna sneak over to your house and put some on your bike. You're gonna wake up and go out there. It's different strokes for different folks. It's that simple. And Harley knows that. That's why they make the bikes a blank canvas. We'll put that video with Hoodie up in the corner. But there's just no one size that fits all. Something that Melissa told me just yesterday or day before yesterday that really surprised me.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, if you look down in the comments, you see someone sign MB, that's Melissa.
That's Melissa. Okay. And her husband has a 14 Street Glide and a 23 Street Glide. The 14 Street Glide has floorboards on it. The 23 Street Glide, it's a CVO, has foot pegs on it. Now, there is no world where Mary would ever prefer pegs over a floorboard. It's just you have more real estate to move your foot around. I can think of 100 reasons why a floorboard's better than a foot peg. Melissa prefers foot pegs because she wears sort of higher heeled boots. She likes to lock her heel into the peg, whereas on the floorboard, she doesn't really know where her foot is on the floorboard. If she wants to shift, put some weight on her feet so that she can shift around in the seat, she's concerned that her foot might slip off of the floorboard. So it's just one size, like Dwayne said, one size does not fit all. So part of this is, I think that if you watch our video that we made on the comfort triangle, it'll help understand why the bikes are made as a blank canvas. We'll put that video up in the corner and in the description below. But let's just look at some of the things that I change on my bike. And find out, did you change on your bike? Did I change it on my bike? And see what it is. So the first thing I have on here is pegs. I do not, the only thing I do is I like to have floorboards and I like to have them spaced further out, so I extend them. Whereas Devin, the D&DK, does not extend his floorboards. Even though he'd like to have the space, he likes to go too fast in the curves and lean over so much that it's not his floorboards that's dragging, it's his floorboard bracket that's dragging. So he doesn't run extensions.
Yeah, and just because things can be changed doesn't mean you have to change them.
Right.
Like every Harley I've ever ridden with the factory foot pegs, I found no issue with the pegs themselves. Now I do prefer floorboards, but as far as foot pegs go, they're not too bad for me. The rubber, the rubber outside of them, they grip your boot very well. I mean, I see nothing wrong with the factory foot pegs on these bikes.
But on your bike right now, you have
Floorboards.
And are the floorboards in the factory position?
I actually have my floorboards extended out and moved forward because that's just what I prefer. Now, if I were 2 inches shorter, I would not prefer them more forward. So again, everybody's going to have a difference of what works best for them.
And then handlebars is the next one.
Right.
You're running the factory bars, right?
I'm running the factory bars solely because the model I have has pullback risers from the factory, the Softail Deluxe, and the bars already come back to me. So they're already in a good position.
So they're comfortable for you.
Right.
Whereas I have never gotten on a Harley, ever, not one, where I could go ride 8 hours and still be comfortable with the factory handlebars.
Well, just to clarify, that M8 Deluxe is the only one I've ever gotten on with stock bars that I'm okay with.
Okay. So different bars. Backrests. Some people like backrests. Some people don't like backrests.
Right.
So, well, it should have come with the backrest. Well, then the price for everybody's bike is going to be higher. And all the people who don't need backrests are going to say, why are they charging me for something that I don't even want? I'm just going to take it off.
Right.
This is an area where you would be tempted to think that Harley's pinching pennies, and that is on suspension, because universally, in our opinion, the suspension sucks on all Harleys. Okay. And we've had hopes when they've come out with this or that new suspension that'd be good. No, it's not good. And you're very tempted to think that it's pinching pennies. But if you look at it objectively, there are thousands of people out there who are not bothered by the stock suspension.
Right.
We cannot ride, Mary and I cannot ride, but we ride a lot of hours every day. But the factory suspension just doesn't do it for us. But other people riding the exact same model have no problem with the factory suspension at all.
Yeah.
Now, could it be better? Yeah, but if they're not uncomfortable, they're not uncomfortable. Yeah. Why would they?
I'm sure right now there's some guy on a coast to coast to coast ride on a bone stock suspension. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, and not uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable,
it's living his life,
why change it?
Right.
What was the next thing? Seats. Changing the seats.
Yeah, and a lot of this not just matters on the person's personal preference, it's also the bike. Like your old Softail, I noticed you were running the stock seat.
It's the only Harley I've ever ran the stock seat on.
Get on a Sportster and try to ride that stock seat, for hundreds of miles. You're going to feel it. You're going to know it's a stock seat. So a lot of it also, again, depends on what model bike you have, as to how pressing it is to upgrade things like the seat.
Yeah, so it's really just, the thing, I've read it hundreds of times on the forums and in comments, is they should come from the factory that way.
Yeah.
And I understand the frustration. You get a bike, whether you spent 10, 15,000 on it, or 30 or 50,000 on it, and then you go, well, to get it to do this or to do that, it's going to cost me another $500 or $1,000 or $2,000. They should just come from the factory that way. Well, number one, they're going to be a blank canvas. They're going to try and make them as neutral as possible so people can make it their own. The other thing to remember is their hands are tied by the different emissions standards that are out there.
Right.
And so, that's something to keep in mind also.
Yeah. Now there are some situations where the bike should have come with certain things, but doesn't. And you get the feeling that it doesn't come with them. Yeah. And then they're more than happy to sell them to you after the fact for a nominal fee. Like, the M8 Softails don't even come with passenger foot pegs. Now these newer bikes, you go buy a brand new one, I think most of them don't even come with 2 key fobs. You just get the one, so not even a spare key fob. So I think...
Or a heel shifter.
Or a heel shift, yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't use heel shifters, but a lot of people do, but you've taken away the if you have two on there, you can take one off easier than you can add one because it's a different shaft, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it's there's definitely places where Harley has pinched pennies, like the plastic intake manifold,
Right.
that they're putting on some of the M8s.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that it would be a resounding yes if put
They
to a
should
vote.
have. Yeah,
they
they
should have
should
put
have.
on there.
But changing the seat. I mean, there's some people who will not ride without a hammock seat.
Right.
Or is that what they call the air Zeppelin seat or the Zeppelin seat?
The hammock's different than the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Zeppelin, you air up.
The Zeppelin seat or the air hammock, they just won't ride without one of those seats. But if Harley added that to every bike, it would put the price up hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
The prices are
for people
going
who don't care about it.
The prices are going up while they're taking parts away.
Yeah.
So if they keep adding more parts, the price would just skyrocket.
So hopefully between the video that we posted of Hoodie's insight into why Harley makes the bike the blank canvas, and looking at the comfort triangle and seeing how important it is for you to get comfortable on your bike, you have to change certain things, and it's different for every person.
That's right. Yeah. Now there, just to branch off, a whole nother argument is, what about the parts that exist that, in my opinion, shouldn't even exist? Prime example, the rocker lockers. They correct an issue that should never be. Think about Harley's poor machining. They got that loose rocker arm support plate, and it rattles around.
That's just another pinching pennies thing.
Right. So obviously there's the rocker lockers will shim that space. There should be no space to shim.
Yeah. So, but that should give you some insight, hopefully insight in why they don't come from the factory with all the things that you think that they should have. So I hope this video helped you out. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd ask that you consider subscribing to our channel. Hit that notification bell so that you'll know when a new video comes out. YouTube likes it when you do that, so it helps us out.
That's right.
Helps other people. Oh, and also share the video with your friends. We'd really appreciate that.
That's right. Now, if you have any questions about parts to customize your blank canvas of a bike, check out our website, dkcustomproducts.com. And if you have any questions about those products, do not hesitate to shoot me an email to support@dkcustomproducts.com or give us a call, 662-252-8828. We have an entire customer service team ready to take your call.
Y'all ride safe out there.